Good afternoon. Great to see you. Thank you very much for being here, and it's been a great time. Generation Rent is a group of people in our society who are at the pointy edge of the housing crisis. And the reason for this is that in 2001, 60% of them were homeowners and 40% of them rented. Now, because circumstances have changed, 40% of them are homeowners and 60% are renters, and it's getting worse from their perspective. They exemplify the problem we have with housing, which is the lack of supply. And we believe that that can be overcome by using a mechanism that's widely used in Europe, where 80% of housing is built for customised groups. It's for groups that can occupy it. In this country, it's a tiny amount, as you said. The problem that exists is that there's land scattered around and there are people scattered around. What's necessary is to bring these people together, to give them the tools they need to work out which groups work and which ones are bad, and to put them on plots of land where they can build. The app that we're proposing does exactly that. It simplifies and clarifies this process. It will bring in data from a variety of sources, and I'll come to that in a minute. But what it will enable people to do is to find other like-minded people who want to build. It will find land on which they can build. It will enable them to do a simple analysis of what they can do with that and what the cost implications are, and that's a very big part of all of this. And then to go on from there to actually build and deliver it. But it enables them to get through that impossibly complicated first stage where you're dealing with lots of consultants. What the app will do is it will crunch all the numbers and all the data that's required. And the data is going to be coming from the house price index, local area, because you need to know the cost and the value of the land. It will crunch all that together, analyse it, and then enable people to coordinate with local authorities to maximise the return on this to the interest of both the local authority and the group itself. It's moving generation rent into generation rent to buy. We believe we can actually do this for about 42,000 quid is our estimate. The market is so big, there are, just in that small band of tenure, there are 600,000 households who want this property.
So how will this benefit the small users, or the small, I mean, you and me, versus just making the developers, the professional developers, more competitive, even more competitive than they currently already are?
Government policy is in the process of changing to define a new use group, which is self-build and custom-build housing. What will happen is that local authorities will have to make available land specifically for this group, and it's that initiative that we're targeting. At present, anybody can compete to buy these packages of land. We're going to start by taking the smallest ones, and which aren't of interest to the main house developers, and focusing on those. But as the government initiative rolls out, local authorities, and we'll be working with these local authorities and paying them for the data, which I'm sure you'll find very attractive in the current climate, that will bring us a stream of sites, and these will be dedicated to self-builders.
What's your business model and how will you get noticed?
The business model is that access to the site is free initially. Learning information about the plots is free. Getting together and collaborating with other people to find you have common interests, that is free. Where we start to charge you is when you want to number crunch to work out if you can actually build on this site the kind of quality and number of units that you're looking to do. We will charge for that, a very modest fee, £5. A large chunk of that fee goes to the local authority, so that's an incentive for the local authority to provide us with the data that we need to make this work. And that alone, given the size of this enormous group, we think if 1% come to our website, 1% of just that generation between 25 and 34, we would be making £1.2 million a year. That will be our operating profit, which we can plough back into the process of facilitating all this.
How does what you propose link with the concept of flat pack housing, which was your title?
The way that it links in is that the flat pack housing is disruptive technology and it's been brought to the market, and it's been developed a mass production technique. So the savings that the self-builders will generate from that, we estimate is 20% cheaper than traditional building. So they will get value for money through using a system which is quicker to erect and it's much more environmentally friendly and cheaper to run because it starts from a codified house.
But we don't insist that people use